Welcome to the Geomologist Presents. Yeah, I missed the deadline for the end of October and to finish up the Rocktober thing I wanted to do, and I apologize for that, but this is a makeup, and maybe I'll be inspired to get another one out before Friday. I feel like I owe you a bonus episode. In any case, I guess I will finish up the Rocktober, tell you about my plans for other things, because of some things I've read on the Discord and because of the Rocktober. And maybe I'll talk about games, but I do know that I have a call, and that call is from BJ Boyd of the Arcane Alienist, my usual partner in crime when it comes to doing stuff on the YouTubes and playing games, running games. He runs on the YouTube channel. He has his own podcast, the Arcane Alienist, and I feel like we should do a collab. We haven't done one for a little bit. Anyway, yeah. Take it away, BJ. I'll come back and then talk about other stuff.
Hey, Carl, it's BJ. Just finally finishing your last Rocktober entry. I know we're into November now. It's a little late, but a couple things sort of met up in my mental space. I know you've been watching Agatha all along, and that's the song that we get in that, The Witch's Road, that we get 2 or 3 different versions of it, but when you really think about the lyrics, that sounds like it really is right for a metal cover. But I'm curious who you think would be good at covering that. I mean, I think ideally it would be a female, at least the singer. So, but of the female bands, or at least female-led bands out there in the metal verse, who do you think would be good to cover that one? See you later.
Thank you for the message. Yeah, to answer your question, I think right off the bat, the band that comes to mind is The Warning. So this band, they are a Mexican rock band from Monterrey, and they're formed in 2013 by the Villarreal Vela sisters. So Daniela's the guitar, vocals, and piano, right? They just released Keep Me Fed here in the summer. So it's great. So they did like a cover of Enter Sandman, and then they've done really well. They signed a 5-album record deal with Lava Records and begin working on them. They've gotten some really good. They listen to all types of music. Metallica has been one of their inspirations, but also, Queen, Pink Floyd, Paul McCartney, Neil Peart, of course, the drummer, has to be pretty good then, right? David Gilmour, etc. So even some K-pop and J-rock, and of course their Latin roots as well. So they're a rock and hard rock band. I guess they're not quite metal, but good vocal range does Daniela have. I guess her sister also sings, Paulina. So and then they have I always liked that, kind of like, I remember listening to Boston way back in the day, and I always loved their harmonic, or how they harmonize the vocals when they do a chorus. I thought that was actually very cool. I don't know of many, do any metal bands I can think of have like a harmony in the chorus? I don't know. It's a good question. I think another person who has a good range for a female vocalist, she's in multiple bands, but currently she's in Nightwish, is Flor Jansen. I think she would do a great Witch's Road also. She probably on stage would also dress up as a witch, but I think it's a new band, The Warning, and then Flor Jansen from Nightwish would be pretty cool to sing a cover of The Witch's Road. And I feel like the one from Nightwish would be more like symphonic metal, while this one would be probably closer to the rock version in Agatha All Along, but with a few different R&B or Latin beats. I think would be kind of neat. That's what The Warning kind of does, almost like a nouveau new metal, if that's a thing. So anyway, thanks for the call, BJ, and I'll just jump right in to the prompts. I left off there back on the 24th of Rocktober with it was the 25th of Rocktober, because I could not forget the best bassist. If I did miss that one, because I don't remember these things, the best bassist to me, well, yeah, I did. It was Steve Harris from Iron Maiden. So that's where I left off. My current favorite song, I actually just took a screenshot of it, and if you'll excuse the noise in the background because I have to find the screenshot, but it's kind of like a new metal type of vibe. I really enjoy it, and that new metal type of vibe. And I just actually watched the video. The video is pretty compelling, actually, too. If you look up the video on the YouTubes, or wherever you watch videos, but it's the song Ronald by Falling in Reverse with Tech Nine and Alex Tay guest vocaling. There's actually a rap part in it that's really cool too. So that's the song that I kind of like. I kind of dig that. Sometimes liquid metal, which I listen on Sirius XM radio, that I listen to almost exclusively when Amy lets me listen to it, because what some of you call guttural Cookie Monster vocals that I really like, and I've like Spirit Braid, I've mentioned them already, but this one has like that guttural vocals, has harmonic vocals, and then it's also interlaced with a rap break in the middle of it, and the video is like a superhero going through all these different incarnations. It's like almost like a promo to a superhero movie, which I think is really great. So that is Ronald by Falling in Reverse, Tech Nine, and Alex Tay as guest stars. So pretty neat stuff. So then that's my current favorite song. The band that I enjoy that has the best marketing. Who has the best marketing right now? Man, that's a tough one. I don't know why I threw that one in there. What band has the best marketing? Actually, it probably is. It is hands down. It's Iron Maiden, because they have the Eddie as a mascot that has been there since the beginning. Maybe I mentioned this already. Eddie from Iron Maiden, Iron Maiden to their latest album. He's always on the cover somewhere, and they market that. They market how that goes and what that does. I think it's pretty neat. I'm trying to think if there's any other like more contemporary groups that have great marketing. I would say that Arch Enemy has some really good marketing. They always present Alyssa White Goals, which is a very attractive woman, and they present her. She does both guttural and melodic vocals, which is great. It's a fantastic, I guess they're death metal band, but they have really, it's not just a double bass drum snare thing and the taka 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 taka. It's they actually do have some great riffs in a lot of their songs. So maybe that'd be a runner up. If I could take this is from the 28th now, if I could take any album to a deserted island or stash it in the Morrow Project, what would that be? Wow, I would say this is probably a repeat of some other things, but maybe not. But I would say Judas Priest, Screaming for Vengeance. I think it's a fantastic album. There's no breaks in it, down points in it. And then if I were taking it to a deserted island, it'd be great because I could sing along to the fishes as I fish for them, or grab crabs or whatever, snails in the tidal pools. And then on the Morrow Project, then I could introduce all my fellow apocalyptic folks to the screams and the metal god Rob Halford of Judas Priest with Screaming for Vengeance. Best 29th Rocktober, the best music platform or radio show, past or present. I really like the Headbangers Ball back in the MTV days, and I think one of the best music platforms all through the years, and still doing it, still promoting both new and classic metal, is actually Liquid Metal with Jose Mangin. And mainly Jose Mangin jumps around. He's one of the I guess he's one of the lead DJs there on that, and I probably will link one of his, maybe his Instagram or whatever account. I know he has an Instagram. I don't know if he has. I don't really go on X that much because, Twitter, whatever the hell it's called now. But yeah, so Jose Mangin from Liquid Metal just really that's how I learned about The Warning, really, that I mentioned earlier, is he interviewed them. I really like that. He also has he's organized a yearly a yearly concert for the promotion of STEM education. So where he lives, so in the LA area, so to get people scholarships to go to school for STEM education. So science, technology, engineering, and the like. So and he actually has people like do like an essay contest and probably like a video blog or vlog or whatever you call it. So performer I would like to meet. Wow, performer I'd like to meet. There are quite a few. I think. Well, I mean, I met Amon Amarth, but I didn't know them really before I got into sort of the Viking death metal scene. I think I would like to meet Nightwish. I really like Nightwish. I'd love to meet the remaining members of Rush, Geddy Lee and Alex Lifeson. I wouldn't mind meeting Judas Priest, like Rob Halford, and playing soccer maybe with Iron Maiden. They like playing soccer. I remember during the Power Slave tour, they had this, I got the tour book because I thought it was really neat. The cover is Eddie as a mummy, and they play a soccer game. They show pictures of playing a soccer game against Def Leppard, and of course they won 1-0. So yeah, it's pretty cool. But I'd like to meet Iron Maiden, I think. And 31 in memoriam, the performer who has gone on, Ronnie James Dio. I've mentioned him already, and I'd say Lemmy from Motorhead that have gone on. Ronnie James Dio, such a fantastic vocalist, from Elf to Rainbow to Black Sabbath to solo stuff. Amazing. So many parts in the family tree of metal and rock music. He's been integral in some of these bands, like Rainbow and Black Sabbath, for example. And so many people come out of him, like the various guitarists, like Jakey Lee, for example, and the guitarists that he interacted with, like Richie Blackmore and Tony Iommi. So yeah, it's a pretty storied career. Fortunately, he passed away from stomach cancer, and there's a charity event every year held in his honor on the day he passed away, or his birthday, one of those. But his wife continues his memory and his legacy and promotes things Ronnie James Dio. And Lemmy, I think, man, I almost saw him with when he came down to San Antonio, but he canceled because of poor health. He canceled his subsequent show in Austin, and then he passed away. So yeah, I almost saw him, but did not. So in memoriam of Lemmy, rock on with your ace of spades, dead man's hand, and all that. So yeah, so what's been going on in the RPG world, and what am I going to do next? What's the next metal thing that I may do? Let me get back to you. Gaming wise, I guess it's going to be somewhat short. I mean, I don't need to go into a lot of detail. So I know I had mentioned that we ran a Savage Worlds test drive. Yeah, they're called the test drive. So I ran one of those, and it was really fun, and maybe we'll do something again. So I guess I played some games. We ran Pendragon, and we finished the year. I think it's year 2 in the Sword campaign. Really good stuff. It should come out at some point. Yeah, I guess we did release it pretty quickly yesterday. So we released that. So check it out on our YouTube channel. Then I got to play in the Traveler game. Played in the Traveler game on the Dungeon Musings YouTube channel. Really fun. Our ongoing. It was a Borderlands run, but now it is Pirates of Drinax. We're not really in the Pirates of Drinax thing yet, but it is using that Trojan Reach Pirates of Drinax book. Really fun. Just doing what we do in Traveler, going around from one story to the next. Kind of cool stuff. So on Tuesday was our regular Twilight 2000 game, and yeah, I think it's going really well. It was more of a transition episode this time, where they were finishing up this raid on like a night raid or a dusk raid on this marauder group. Kind of took him out pretty handily, and then we kind of finished that up, found some information, and then did some work in town where Kasha confronted the leader of Krakow about his potential illness, and they tried to figure out how they would remove him from power but still give him power. So he's a very volatile personality, and they didn't, he's prone to fits, and that's why there was this sort of, I guess, psychological diagnosis, but definitely I feel like they would have the wherewithal in Krakow to examine him, make sure, see what's going on. But they've made inroads. I mean, the Krakow coalition's made inroads, and they all need to deal with Soviet remnants of the Soviet 20th. I think it's the Soviet Guards Division that's kind of northeast of Krakow. And they did some preliminary planning. We'll probably do a planning session. We'll probably get down like a map of what's going on and do like a battle setup and see what happens. And then maybe a pause. Now, it was really kind of cool that a former player who was in the group, my wife convinced her to call in like a radio chat, which is kind of neat, and got some other intel that they had worked out and gotten. And now I was going to send another asset down to Krakow, fly another asset actually down to Krakow for their use. So, yeah, we got a lot going on. And I was kind of talking to Amy because we've been running this for a while. And then I asked her kind of, when does the campaign end? When do you think, what is a good ending point? And she said, well, I thought you want to do a lot of other things and just want to take a break and then kind of get back to it maybe. And I think I do have an idea of a good stopping point for this phase of the campaign, and then move into like sort of the free Poland scenarios that have been written by a sort of a third party through Twilight, one of the drive-through operation that Free League allows for Twilight 2000. It's called, I will tell you what it's called, the Free League Workshop for Twilight 2000. So it's pretty neat. Right, you can use their templates, write your own stuff for Twilight 2000. There's like a few little rules, like it doesn't overlap with something that they're working on, that kind of thing. So I think it's pretty cool what they've done. I mean, yeah, and I'll set that up. I know Amy had also mentioned that she wants Kasha to go into the remains of the former Soviet Union, much like kind of the way that the first edition Twilight 2000 books are written is after you do the first tetralogy, then you kind of do this one called Going Home, and then you get to what's going on in the U.S. and at least all sorts of things. I know I really wanted to run as kind of a in between while still running Twilight 2000. I did have like a one-shot adventure that takes place in Sweden, kind of a horror type of adventure. It takes place on the Swedish front. And then I've been wanting to run Red Star, Lone Star, and I know kind of how I would want to set it up. Maybe there'll be callbacks to the main campaign, maybe not. And brand new characters and run through Red Star, Lone Star. This takes place in sort of the Gulf Coast of Texas, so it'd be kind of neat to run just areas that are familiar to me, familiar to us. I would play in my home group. Well, at least one person in my home group who plays Twilight 2000. So it'd be great to get other people. I know one guy's been gone for some time. I don't know if he, but maybe we'll grab some people back as their schedules get a little more easy, a little easier. So yeah, and then today it was really cool to play Hyperborea. So I just run it as a drop in, drop out. They have a home base at Fort Thunder, a map done for me by Jason Hobbs and Friends guy, and it's a really neat starting point. I guess the procedure is we look at the rumors, look at the potential jobs, decide what the jobs are going to do, maybe interact with people in the town, and then go. And they decided to go. They have a boat, so they have kind of a mobile base. So if we can't kind of get to town, we can at least beach the boat and then start from there. So if it is drop out. So if we have to stop before getting back to town, then they have this sort of mobile save point, however you want to call it. So it was kind of cool. So today's episode, they took the mission to continue exploration of the coast, get paid for it. They grab their henchmen and NPCs. Potentially, they could hire other ones or find other ones, and then they go and it's kind of it's kind of emerged, right? And we had a guest player on today, so it was a good crew. I believe there are one, two, three, like 5 players. Yeah, 5 players today, which is really nice. Which sometimes it goes hard, sometimes it goes easy, right? When you have that number of players, and then they brought like a whole cadre of henchmen. 3 of their like hirelings, more no, 3 actual henchmen, and then 2 hirelings, like to act as porters. So yeah, and then I had an idea of what was on this coast. I rolled to see if anyone saw it. Someone saw it. I'm like, oh, and the idea was, well, do you want to investigate or keep going along on the mission, on the job? I said, well, let's investigate. It turned out to be sort of cave system, and they explored it, and it was what I enjoyed for me. I was kind of like making it up as I go along, where the players who are consist of it's a pretty tough group. There's Zotis, who is a purloiner, sort of like a cleric thief, as Atlantean. Then we had a Hyperborean warlock named Morzel, who is warlock in Hyperborea is like a fighter magic user. And then we had a straight cryomancer, an ice thief, and then we had a huntsman. So it's somewhat more of a scout, kind of ranger scout type. And then we had and then a druid. So a good little group. And they started exploring this cave system, found a cave of bats after dealing with birds. And it's funny, some people fell in the guano and the bats were disturbed. And then they said this fissure that kind of, cut through the rock. And one group went, well, by happenstance, half of the group slid down the fissure and half the group climbed up the fissure. And on the down, one of the players fell into this sort of grotto, something like that, and fought an undead creature. I rolled randomly for the number of undead, and it was just one. So they took out this creature, found some cool treasure that kind of is a callback mysteries to some of the previous adventures, and as was the other one, when they climbed up, they found a small shrine or temple, to but they'd seen something similar elsewhere on the island, and then they kept climbing up. They fought another undead creature, this time a shadow. Defeated it, only one. Guess I got to remember that next time. Had more than one. And yeah, it was good. They found some more interesting items, and then solved a mystery that this small little shrine kind of opened up to this sort of platform, this windswept platform amidst the mountains, and they had a great view of some other neat potential locations. So I really enjoyed that game. So, and then kind of called it there. They kind of got all the loot, collected all the loot, went back to their boat, and then calculated the XP. So that's kind of how it goes, and it's really a neat procedural. I really enjoy the game. Quick mechanics and fighting. It doesn't always have to be fighting. I think this was more mystery and exploration, and had a good time kind of going at it on the fly, just an idea in my head, and just rolling with it, like what I conceive, and what mysteries were to be found. So yeah, give XP for participation in the exploration as well as the monsters, magic, and treasure, of course. So anyway, I think that's it. Call it here. Thanks for listening. Oh, there was something else. Right. So November 11th is Veterans Day. Happy Veterans Day for everyone who has served. It's a great way to honor, small thing, great way to honor. I know a friend of mine goes around and goes for his free meals that are given on Veterans Day. I don't participate in that. I mean, I served a little bit, but not as long as some of my friends. And let them enjoy it, right? So yeah, it's Veterans Day, but it's also a Heavy Metal Day. And I don't know exactly why it's Heavy Metal Day. Maybe usually 11, it's like horns, 11. It makes sense. And then, so I wanted to do something, I don't know, I wanted to do something to put out for that day. I haven't figured it out yet, but someone said, hey, a review of the movie Heavy Metal. It'd be cool to get someone on to talk about it, but maybe I'll just do a Heavy Metal review, talk about the soundtrack, talk about the little shorts that are in the movie. Kind of neat to do. So maybe I'll do that for 11/11. Maybe if I can get another person I'm thinking of, I can maybe help get them to do like sort of what kind of adventure would you run, like adventure on the fly based on this particular song. That'd be kind of neat to do too. So yeah, those are the ideas I have. Hey, leave some if you want to leave some feedback. I know it's a short turnaround from now until Monday, but if you leave some feedback, maybe I can do those or respond to those questions as well. But thank you for listening. It's been the Geomologist Presents. You can shoot me a line, geomologist@gmail.com. Drop me a direct message on the Discord or other places and platforms. And I have a SpeakPipe account here in the show notes. So thank you so much. Good night and good rolling. Thanks for the music for our Mysterious Benefactor. The little interrupts between some of the sections are from Looperman, which is a site you subscribe to that musically inclined people's authors, composers, because composer is the right word, put little shorts for you to sample and test and use as for a donation. So yeah, talk to you guys later.
Geomologist, Carl Rodriguez is the geomologist.